There's a moment every fish keeper dreads. That instant when you look at your tank and realize something inside it has taken control. A fish that was supposed to be epic or impressive suddenly becomes the reason everything else is hiding, breaking, or disappearing. I've lived through that moment more than once, and what I'm about to show you might save your entire aquarium from the same disaster. Before we go any further, let me ask you something important. This channel is new, it's growing, and your support truly makes a difference. So, the only thing I ask in return, right now, is that you click the subscribe button. It helps me keep creating videos like this, and it tells YouTube that these lessons matter. Alright, take a breath, because the first fish on this list looks innocent. But once you bring it home, everything changes. I didn't walk into this hobby blindly. Before getting my first fish, I researched everything. Hours of videos, forums, species guides. I wanted to do things right. And even then, even with all that preparation, there were things no book and no expert ever mentioned. Because some fish don't just bring attitude, they bring consequences. I remember one night, quiet calm, when I turned on the tank lights and saw movement I didn't recognize. Not peaceful swimming, but tension, pressure, a kind of dominance that changed the entire energy of the aquarium. The tank wasn't damaged yet, but I could feel something was about to break. That's when I understood something essential. Aggression has layers, some of them predictable, others completely invisible until it's too late. And the first fish on this list? It's exactly the type that fools even well-prepared fish keepers. First on our list, the Oscar. A fish that looks charming, almost friendly, and in many ways it is. But here's the part no one tells you. Oscars don't live in your tank. They take over your tank. They're intelligent, almost too intelligent. They learn your routines, watch you, interact with you. But that personality comes with a cost. I remember visiting a friend who kept a single Oscar in a large tank. Everything looked calm, peaceful, until the moment the Oscar decided it wanted the space rearranged. The gravel flew, the plant snapped. The heater hit the glass hard enough to make us freeze in place. It wasn't aggression out of anger. It was dominance, a quiet, calculated reminder of who really controlled the environment. They're amazing fish, but in the wrong setup, they will turn your tank into a construction zone overnight. The next fish takes that energy and adds a much sharper edge. Next on the list, a fish that tricks almost everyone. The bucktooth tetra. Small, shiny, fast, the kind of fish you'd expect to be peaceful, harmless, maybe even delicate. But that's exactly the trap. Because bucktooth tetras aren't gentle. They're scale eaters, precision attackers. A school of them moves like a single sharp blade, and any fish that isn't one of their own becomes a target. I once watched a group of 6 circle a larger fish, not aggressively, not wildly, but calmly, methodically, as if they were inspecting it. Seconds later, one darted forward, then another, and the scales began disappearing like flakes of paint. They're fascinating, beautiful, almost hypnotic, but they can turn a community tank into a stress zone in seconds. And hey, a quick note. If you ever need aquarium gear, I've left a referral link in the description. You'll get a small discount, and it helps support this growing channel. Now, the next fish isn't small at all, and the damage it causes? It's on an entirely different level. Now let's talk about a fish that proves size means nothing. The convict cichlid. Small, striped, almost innocent looking. But once it claims territory, the entire tank feels it. What makes them so intense isn't just aggression. It's purpose. Convicts don't fight randomly. They defend, they guard, they strategize. And when they form a pair, the tank stops being a home and becomes a fortress. I've seen a bonded pair push every other fish into corners they never left. Not with chaos, but with control. Silent pressure, unshakable dominance. And let me ask you something, just for reflection. What's been your experience with territorial fish? If you want, you can leave a comment while you watch. I'll be replying to everyone. Because the next fish on this list takes territorial and turns it into something far more physical. Next up, the red devil cichlid. A fish so bold, so confident. It doesn't just live in your aquarium. It challenges everything inside it. Red devils have a presence you can feel. Even when they're still, there's this tension in the water, a kind of pressure that tells every other fish, this space is mine. I once watched a red devil patrol a tank like a guard on a mission. No panic, no rushing, just a steady, deliberate movement from one corner to the next, as if it owned the entire territory and was checking for intruders. And when something entered its space, a rock, a hand, even a siphon tube, it didn't hesitate. It reacted instantly, powerfully, with zero fear. They're impressive fish, but they turn maintenance into a battle you never asked for. And the last fish on this list makes even the red devil look predictable. Finally, the wolffish, a predator that doesn't warn, doesn't posture, and doesn't negotiate. It watches, it waits, and when it moves, it's already too late. Wolffish aren't aggressive in the way most people imagine. They're decisive, purposeful. Every motion is calculated, and every decision is final. I remember the first time I saw one strike. There was no build-up, no tension, just a sudden flash of movement, faster than the eye could follow. 1 second the tank was calm. The next, everything inside it knew exactly who the apex was. Tank mates don't become stressed. They become opportunities. To a wolffish, anything that fits in its mouth isn't a friend. It's a meal. They're stunning, powerful, fascinating creatures. But in a community setup, they turn harmony into survival. And now that we've gone through the list, there's one more thing you need to hear before you choose your next fish. So here's the truth. Keeping monster fish isn't really about danger. It's about responsibility. Every species on this list is amazing in the right hands, and a disaster in the wrong setup. And maybe that's the part nobody tells you when you're starting out. It's not just about choosing a fish. It's about choosing the world you're giving it. Space, stability, tank mates, filtration. Every detail matters. And when one thing is out of balance, the whole system pays for it. If this video helped you avoid a future tank disaster, I'm glad you found it. And if you want to keep learning, keep improving, and keep your aquarium thriving, click the video that appears on screen to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, fish keepers, and keep your monsters where they belong.